What's up, friends and fam? This is the Set Apart Podcast with another edition. It's your favorite cousin, Ren, and I'm joined by the amazing Didi. Didi, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
So we here and we got some cool guests for y'all today. This is actually a Set Apart first, I want to say. We had a guest here and there, but this is season 2, so we're doing it bigger and better. First, I'm gonna bring on somebody who is very close to me. This is I'm talking about Thick as Thieves. He is the reason that I'm probably not in jail and or pregnant out of wedlock. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna call it where I see it. This man has stopped me from going down a lot of degenerative paths. This is my boy. Welcome to the show, Eddie A. All Day. What's up, Eddie?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? I did not expect that intro. So that's how it was going to be said. But I guess I'll take it.
We thank the Lord he is not pregnant out of wedlock.
Oh, listen.
Really thank the Lord.
It was a possibility many times. Thank you, Lord. Secondly, we got listen, huge inspiration in my life. You don't know how awesome the things, the principles, the fresh start Mondays, reframing all of Mondays that this woman has brought into my life. She has so much wisdom. She was my supervisor at one time and a better friend and a supervisor. I ain't macking on her supervisor's spot, but she's a better friend with so much wisdom that her heart is just literally made of gold, but not only gold, but that gold that's like, hey, homie, if I'm moving forward, you moving forward. Welcome to the show, Gwen. Gwen, what's up?
Listen, can we repeat that intro again, though? That was beautiful.
Put it on your resume.
Come on, talk about giving somebody their flowers. I appreciate that.
Listen, y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve it. These are two, like, I kid y'all not. I'm not gassing y'all up for the podcast. These are two very influential people in my life. I thank God that the paths have crossed somehow, some way. And I happen to be blessed by their presence in my life. So I want them to be a blessing to the Set Apart podcast. And I'm excited. Didi, I'm excited. What you got for us?
I can tell you're excited. Your voice got a little watery there for a second. Maybe I should back out the studio. You have your moment.
It's that hallmark moment.
Listen. Well, I'm glad y'all here too. Welcome. All right, so we're going to kick it off with the icebreaker. We like to kind of get everybody loosened up a little bit. This is a simple question. It's not deep. It's not hard. But I just had a birthday recently.
Ooh.
And I've noticed some changes as the years have gone on. And I have a question. And that question is, what are some things that you started to do that have let you know I'm getting old? I'll start. I don't like driving in the dark no more.
Oh, hurt me.
I didn't mean to laugh.
I'll be like, can I get? I'll be like, listen, my eyes don't work the same. And I'm not ashamed to say it. But hey,
I'm a co-signing with you.
Listen,
That hurt. I didn't expect that. I definitely expect. I apologize for laughing. I
didn't expect it either, but I do feel you. As somebody who already wears glasses, I do feel you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny. What you got, Ed? What's your getting old feeling?
Man, my immediate thought when she asked that was like waking up. Waking up.
Like, but I feel like that's one of the things that get like better as you get older. Like, I got grandparents that they wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning for what? Nothing at all. They wake up ready to go 5 o'clock in the morning for nothing.
I guess let me elaborate. When I say wake up, I'm talking about like let's say you did something the day before, like you went skating or you went to go play basketball. The next morning when you wake up, you're like, okay.
Yep.
You're not as young as we once was.
Yep. Should have stretched.
My back.
Yep. I feel that one elbow that I caught,
Yep.
On game 2. So yeah.
That's real.
That is real. Gwen, what you got?
Listen, I don't know if mine is actually going to be universal, but when I was younger, I could be around any environment. Now, I need you to maintain low tones. I don't want all that noise. Why are you making all that noise? Why is your voice elevated? Why are you screaming at me?
That's
Why
facts.
are you just loud? Period. I do not like when I turn, I feel like I'm 38 now, but when I turned around 34, 35, stop making all that noise.
Yeah.
Yep, that's real. For me, it's way worse. It's way worse for me. I come from, and as I'm sure that a lot of us have the same upbringing of, we had so much slang. Like we could talk in front of people who was not from our culture, and they would have no idea what was going on. We talking openly in front of their face, and they don't understand. Now, like I feel like as the years gone on, I've stayed close to it, but like I just hit that age where I'm getting annoyed with these new words.
Mm-hmm.
And like so one time, this was like last week, teenager was like, "Hey man, you need to like watch your Riz because your Riz is really low." I'm like, "Bro, what do you mean? Like
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
what do you
Me
mean?"
Yo,
And so, you know,
what
Riz is
is?
low. So basically, Riz is short for charisma, and it's like your energy was low. So
What?
he's like, "You gotta check your Riz, bro." And I'm like, "Bro, I hate this. Why do I hate this world? Like I hate all of this right now. I can't mess with the Riz thing.
He's
Like,
shortening
The
charisma.
Riz. The Riz.
charisma, I can't stand. Another thing I can't stand is when people give people nicknames and they got more letters than the real name. But I can't stand that.
Oh, we doing pet peeves now.
You
We
getting
doing pet
old.
peeves now.
You transition.
You getting old. You mad at everything.
Yeah.
I'm that old grumpy man because I'm like, bro, like
He said, turn the volume down. I can't see.
exactly. Like, I can't figure it out. Like, so I got a friend, bless her heart. She is one close to me, and she's okay if I said this. I say it all the time. Her name is Kaylee. That's 5 letters. No, 6 letters. Kaylie. 6 letters. And her name turned into like Kales, and she like added a letter. Like it's the long, like Kels. Kels is Kales, right? That's like the R. Kelly. Girl, you wanna come to my hotel? I'm probably gonna get canceled for saying that. R. Kelly's not in anymore. I apologize, everybody.
Uh-oh.
But but she spells it like Kayliez, something like that, where it's like one more letter than her real name. And I'm like, why is that a nickname then?
Yeah, why are we spelling nicknames? It's supposed to just
Why?
be, you know.
Why? Like why? That's like me saying, "Hey, Eddie's nickname is Eduardo." Like, why is that longer?
You just
In
irritated.
the real name.
Yeah.
Come on, tell us what really grinds your gears.
Yeah.
I
Get
can
into
go out. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm
These
getting
young
old.
people.
I eat tapioca
it.
now.
These young
It's
people.
all bad. Like it's all bad.
I got one more. I have to do like a double to get off the couch.
Like a
You know what I
double
mean?
dog.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Like
a
a
rock.
like
Like a
the
little rock.
Little rock.
That's a rock.
Yeah, little rock.
listen, don't sit too far back on the couch.
Yo, you there. You there.
No.
You there and you gonna sleep there. It's just I'm sorry.
Not the rocking chair. Oh
Hey
man, I
man,
don't know
these
if I'm there.
these knees don't be ready sometimes.
I don't know if I'm there yet. I roll off sometime. I'll be real with you on that one. But
That might be worse.
that's a gravity.
You rolled off.
Hey, Limbs don't work. You just gotta roll.
It don't. But my Riz is low. What I know.
Oh god.
I don't think that's what Riz means. I think that child fully lied. I
What do you
think that
mean?
Riz is I think he was capping like Riz. Charisma and Riz. I think he was probably clowning you on the low. You just didn't know. You're just too old to know.
See, that's the issue too, though.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't know.
I'm that disconnected that I don't know when I'm being clowned, though. Like, that's worse.
I think it's weird that charisma is even something they would be talking about.
might be,
That
yeah.
just seems weird. But I don't know. I have no idea what Riz means.
Listen, if y'all watching this, hit the comment. What does my Riz is low mean? Like, should I find that kid? Should it have been something that it wasn't?
Every time I've seen Riz use this in terms of like, I see them talk about dudes in regards to ladies, and like he got the Riz, like almost like he got the juice, like
Okay.
Mhm.
he got the Riz, and so charisma, yeah, but it's
I
like
can
it's
see
more
it,
than
but
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either way, it being low ain't the good thing.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, got it.
He was all you. He was all you for sure.
Okay. All right, little Chris, you're gonna have to see me. You're gonna have to
Chris.
see me. After I've conferred with the council, you're gonna have to see me. Dang.
Be
All right,
careful,
we're
little
gonna
Chris.
step into something crazy today. And this is something that I'm gonna do some picking on people because I need to know. All right. We talk about these thought processes of red flags. We heard that, right? Red flags is stuff that you just will not deal with. Like you just can't deal with this. Like this is something that you can't look past. Now, just to give y'all some preface, we're gonna talk about this on 3 different levels. Level number 1, your friends. What are some red flags in your friendships that you just can't? I can't look past this one. I can't look past this one. Number 2, in your family relationships, and that's when it get murky because when we talk about friends, yeah, maybe we can say we ain't gonna be we ain't gonna be friends, but like I don't know if there's a level of cutting a family member off or whether they shouldn't be. And then thirdly, last but certainly not least, in your relationship, in your romantic relationship, what is a red flag that you cannot get past? So we're gonna all do the first one together in terms of friendship, and I'm just calling it out. What's up, guys? This is Ren from the Set Apart Podcast. Did you know you can interact with us and continue the conversation via our online forum? That's right. You can email us today at setapartpodcastteam@gmail.com because this is not just a podcast. This is a movement. We're looking forward to hearing from you. What is a red flag in a friendship? We just can't deal with it. We just can't deal with it. That's a no-no today.
First of all, is a red flag. We got to define red flag. So you say a red flag is something I just can't deal with, but can a red flag be turned a different color eventually?
That's a good question. Can it? Because I don't know if that's the same in everybody's life.
That's what I'm saying. But for me in a friendship, because I don't really cut people off, I just I can fade in and out with what with the energy I give you. That don't mean you cut off. Because I'm gonna check on you. I'm gonna say happy Thanksgiving.
Are you one of those?
Yeah, because because I don't hate you, but you might not have the same privilege that you once had, or access to me, or priority. But I don't hate you, so that's why I say like, is a red flag like you done, never again, or is it just like you just knocked down a few levels?
Well, you tell us, because to me, a red flag is something that's so big that like unless you do some work on your own, I'm not sure we're gonna get past this.
Okay, lying. And I mean specifically like you can't keep your word, or you pretending to be somebody you're not. And I don't even mean like you a criminal. It could just mean I don't really know who you really. I thought you was this the whole time, and you actually not. And so I was building a relationship with somebody that don't exist. So like lying like that.
Is it? And let me just clarify. So there's a thin line between lying and manipulation, right? Which are we talking about? Little like including like little white lies, like. I can tell you 1,000 friends. This is more of a guy thing, I'm sure. He like, oh, I got this. Oh yeah, Shawty was liking me. Shawty was never liking him.
Nah.
She
women do that too, just so you know.
Yeah, she slipped past him like 2 times and said, "Hey, have a nice day." Like that wasn't her making an advance. Like
women do that too.
Yeah, capping, straight.
He held the door open for 5 girls, not just you. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just capping. But like, are we saying those in the terms of lying? Or are we talking about manipulation to make them seem something that they're not?
Like straight, like that's not even you. Like I don't like that. Like I don't want somebody to try to be something they think I want them to be. Or I don't like when you let off that you're this kind of person as far as integrity, but you've been like stealing, you've been like hustling. I can't. I don't do that. I can't rock with people that's like taking advantage of people because they might believe this about you, but that's not even who you are. But that's for you to manipulate and get an advantage over somebody.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not asking you to say names. Please don't say names. We ain't gonna turn this into a burn book for sure. But by the way that you explain that, it makes me think like, all right, this happened for real, right?
I mean, it happens all the time, not just specifically to me directly. Listen, without saying names.
No,
don't. Say? No, go ahead. Ask your question.
No, don't say names.
I'm not gonna say names, but I'll say positions in life.
I mean, but my question is like, was there ever with that person? Was there ever any type of like reconciliation down the road where it's like, all right, you started out tripping, but you're all right now?
No. And I say that because a lot of times people blend forgiveness with trust, and they're two different things. Because I can forgive you, but that don't mean that relationship. The reconciliation is the fact that we can stay separate without no hate.
Okay.
You can reconcile something without bringing it back to its original state. So I can forgive you, but it's best that we not try to force this to happen again, because I don't trust you no more.
Reconciliation does not equal restoration, is what I heard
you say. Say that one more time.
Your mic went down. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I said what I heard you say is reconciliation does not equal restoration. That's what if I was preaching, that's what I would that would be a whole sermon.
Hey, listen, you got those one-liners. You got those one-liners. Oh,
that's exactly what it means.
That's real.
You don't have to always. Sometimes when you do certain stuff, the consequence is you don't get what you lost. You don't always get it back.
Yeah. Say that. That's real.
Because time keeps moving. So like sometimes you got to learn and then do better with the next opportunity.
Okay, say that. I'm gonna leave you with this one, and this is a hard one. I want to say because I don't know if it's a yes or no. It could be I don't know, and I respect that. In the terms of friendship and that same red flag that you just laid out there for us, you said there may be reconciliation, but it doesn't mean restoration to the original state.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you believe that there is some red flags that you can come back from that can change another color, or is all red flags? No turning back.
I think anything is possible, but I don't think I don't have to live with it being my responsibility to make it happen. Like if it happens, I believe God can do anything. That's just the point blank. But I don't think it's up to me to live with that responsibility. I just got to keep on fighting to make it work. It's okay if it don't. Because when trust is broken, like it's hard to get that back. And I've learned that it's okay if it never comes back all the way. I don't have to live with that on my back. Oh, I wish that. What if I would have this? But if I wasn't feeling like I could trust the person, that's not my fault. So I'm free from like trying to make stuff happen. And we talking friendships.
That's good. Yeah, we're talking friendships.
Yeah.
What you got, Gwen?
All right. So listen, just like we had to define red flags, and just so y'all know, I got a little red flag. You know what I'm saying? I brought it with me.
Okay, but you hold up, bro. You done spent your time in. Listen, Gwen, you done spent your time in Compton. Your red flag may be different than what
with this orange.
Confirm that your red flag mean what we mean it mean, and not what we think it mean from Compton.
My red flag is simply about the topic. That's it.
Okay. Respect. Back
so
to
listen. Just like we had to define red flags, I think for me, we have to define friendships before I can give you my red flag, because my red flag relates directly to these definitions. I define my friendships in very. I'm a very logical thinker, so I literally, you have to be in a box for me. Like you have to be either a part of the crowd, and the people who are in the crowd are just people who are in proximity to me, people who are the coworkers, you know what I'm saying? Those type of people are in the crowd. People I know, but I really don't know like that. You're my crowd. My community are my like-minded individuals. Those are the ones who run with me. Those are my peers. Those are, Hollywood Bernard. I ain't have to mess your name up like that. Hollywood Renard. That's my community. And then when I think about my core, those are my inner circle. That's my tribe. So my red flag, now that I've defined that, my red flag is when people try to get out of position. So if you are a part of the crowd, but you want to be in the inner circle and I don't want you there, that's a red flag. Like, why are you so thirsty to get there? You know what I'm saying? Or if you're in my community, but you're acting like you're a part of the crowd. You see, because each friendship category has, I have a different, the crowd, my job is just to pour into them. That's the one that get the one-liners. That's the one that get the scriptures. That's the one that gets the encouragement, but they do absolutely nothing for me per se. Right. The community, there's an even exchange. My inner circle, they get all of me. They get the naked version, the transparent version of me. Right. So when people try to bounce from place to place, it messes up my mind because I'm like, look, you don't get that. You don't get to know the naked part of me because you probably can't handle it. But right. Two, you just want to be here just for the wisdom and the insight, but you don't know what it takes to hold the crown of being in my inner circle. So I think my biggest red flag is those people who are, I don't know if y'all experience that, but people who always just want to jump from position to position. Just play your role.
Would you say that it starts somewhere though, and they elevate to a different, like, is there people who start in a crowd and has walked themselves into that core?
Oh no, this is invitation only. So now, granted, relationships do build. So like I
premium
know
subscription.
Come on, you can't just walk your way in. But I do know people who literally started in the crowd and they worked their way up to the community, which eventually worked their way up to the core. People who I never thought would be like, oh, you're like one of my number ones, or you're one of my closest. You're really a part of my tribe. They started in the crowd. So everybody has to start in the crowd, but ultimately, don't try to push yourself into the community or into that core inner circle.
So for the people who go the other way though, what is that like?
That's equally a problem though, but I think because kind of relating to the question we talked about earlier, as you get older, I think friendships as I've gotten older have been, I would say in my early 30s, they were a little bit more difficult to navigate. Now I understand, like, oh, people literally leave your life. Like, oh, people really, they don't stay. They be bestie gang. And then the next day you be like, wait, we not friends. My phone dry. I ain't got a text from you in 2 weeks, a month, a year. Yeah. Oh, we really don't talk no more. So it literally, I just had a whole monologue with myself, y'all. Don't even worry about that.
We with you.
But that's what it goes forward and it goes reverse.
That's real. Okay, here's the question then. And I know I'm hitting it hard because you got you explained that whole philosophy of your tribe, that crowd, that community, that core. You explained all of that. And so for someone who is it a sliding scale? Is it a sliding scale? Like we talked about earlier, where it was talking about reconciliation and restoration. Like, is it a sliding scale as in you've had people who is a part of your core that something or some event has occurred and maybe they slid around, you didn't know where they was or whatever, but they then eventually maybe came back to where they originally was or close to that? Has that happened? Is that a thing?
Well, I think grace is real. So yeah, I would want all of my tribe to extend me grace because I can be the offender or I can be the offended, right? So that's the sliding scale. You never know which side of the friendship you're going to end up on because we are human. Right. So grace can absolutely be extended. But I'm with Dee. Restoration don't always equal reconciliation. And sometimes, especially as we understand time is not guaranteed to any of us. Like literally, yesterday is a locked door that we cannot enter. Tomorrow is a locked door that we can't get to. So we literally only have today. So I'm not going to waste the time I have today trying to figure out what side of the fence you're on. Either you're team Gwen or you're not.
Right. Dang, you kind of held it down with that. I like how you even put it in a sit. So we talk about that a lot of times in church leadership, right? We talk about it in terms of assimilation. You want people to come from the crowd, the speculators, into a part of the community where they're saying, "Hey, I own this. This is my church. This is what I do. This is where I'm trying to potentially, if I'm a mother, father, like raising your kids at, and like basically, I'm gonna put my flag down here. This is my church in the community." And then he goes from that to the core, like who are the people who truly are the cogs in this machine and the reason that it runs. And so we talk about, I love that example because we talk about that so much, how you come from one place to another. But I say that to say this, from my definition of that motto in general, sometimes you have people stuck in places, not because of your code, if you will, but because of their lack of progress and or lack of desire to be closer. So with that, I say with your model, is there people who you're like, man, I thought they were gonna come out of the crowd. Like this was somebody who I thought that like they had a lot of potential to come out of this crowd, but they still there, dog. Like they still there. They sitting there.
For me, my expectations of those in the crowd is simply that I pour. I don't expect them to level up per se, because my job in their position is it's almost that assignment that God gives us. You know what I'm saying? Like my job is to pour into them. If you expect the crowd to pour into you, you're always going to be empty because that's not their role. So when I'm expecting, and the crowd community in core, that's definitely modeled after Jesus. Let me not try to take credit for that. Jesus, when he went to the crowd, his job was to heal them, to bless them. They wanted was gimme. When he was around his community, that's his 12 disciples. Those were his 12 chosen ones. But his core were the 3. He only had 3 that were with him when he was in his final hour in the garden. So I literally model my whole life after the Bible, which is my blueprint, and that's where I got that from.
So is that a years thing? Like that's like it's been this way for a while. It's just something you just walked into.
No, everybody, we've been doing crowd community and core for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Respect that. All right, listen, Eddie, I don't know how you're gonna follow that. So
come on, Eddie, you got it.
You took some. I don't know if you took some notes, but that was
you got it, Eddie.
Between go ahead and lower your expectations.
Between me and Gwen, that like they don't put that much down. Like
right. She gave the sermon with it. It was It was nice. It was nice.
Eddie, what you got for us?
The immediate one I think of, and I think this kind of overlaps other categories too, but it was the first one that came to mind, is just when there's been like multiple times where, you know, they just weren't about their word. They said one thing and they didn't follow through. They said they flaked, basically. They flaked in a way. One time, so okay, cool. Like stuff happens, you know, but if that becomes a pattern, I'm like, I don't. Yeah, I'm good.
At what point in time, and maybe this is a question that's a little bit difficult for me to even word, but do you see that sometimes like they're not being a man or a woman of their word in the sense of things just keep happening and like there's a million excuses as to why they didn't meet this? Or is it willfully like, hey, yeah, Eddie, I just didn't show up. Like there's no other reason. There's no context. There's no nothing. Because of course, like anybody, and I know you well enough to know that there's a difference between, hey, I said, Eddie, I'm going to be here at 8. It's 7:30. Stuff is going crazy at work. I can't leave. Let's reschedule or something like that. But then there's the other side of it of, yeah, I ain't said nothing to you. I ain't said nothing to you 2 days after I blew you off.
Oh, damn.
I'm just expecting to get the hint.
Extreme.
So which way we talking about this?
The extreme. When you first started that question, I was like, okay, like I don't really try to like pick apart like the reasoning why somebody might have like flaked or whatnot. But I just take it for what it is. Especially if it's the first time, like I always lean towards the benefit of the doubt, where it's like, okay, stuff does happen. Like something came up, but if it's like every time, I'm like, hey man, like at this point you asked to hang out. So like
Right.
if you said, hey, I'm trying to have coffee, I'm trying to have lunch with you, cool. Like I'm all about doing that. But if something comes up, even at that first time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of expect you to kind of reschedule that, and like if we want to make something shake. But then yeah, like if something like that keeps happening, I'm just kind of like, okay, like regardless of what the reasoning is, like
Yeah.
I'm just like Didi, I'm just slowly fading away, like slowly fading back. I'm gonna still make sure you're good, but like my expectations just even lower at that
That's
point.
it. Yeah.
Like, I don't expect not too much from you at that point. But yeah, if you just don't communicate anything and just I don't even know what
That's
to do
so
with that. I'm
disrespectful.
like, yeah, I'm just like,
Just show up like, hey, what's up? Wait a minute.
Hey,
who
what's
is
up?
this?
at that point you've left the crowd. I don't even know. Like, no,
You
Like,
are.
where you at?
I'm just floating somewhere.
Right.
That's funny. Okay, so here's the question. When that changed, and this is for everybody, but I'm gonna aim it at you first, Ed. When that classification, if you will, changes, to use Gwen's example, when you come from one place to another, the cow to the core, you move back or something like that, or when you have a friend that maybe don't follow through on their word, and you know that relationship is different because it's happened one too many times. And same thing with you, Didi, with your example. When that classification changes in the terms of a friendship, is there a conversation? Is there a conversation that needs to take place? Is there just a nah, I'm just going to start slowly drifting back? Is there a, like, what is the communication at that point? Or does it just change and we live with it?
Yeah. I would say it definitely depends. Now, I feel like the natural lean is to naturally just slowly take a step back and see. But if it's one of those situations where like I'm naturally stepping back, but they're trying to like continue to be in a role that they are not in, then it's like, okay, this might need to be a conversation of like, hey, like that's not where we at. And that's okay.
Yeah, I agree. Because I'm just of the mindset that I'm not just gonna be. I don't have to have closure. I think that's a problem with a lot of people these days. Like your behavior sometimes is closure enough. I think there's an obsession with having this. We have to have this final conversation to define this and that. There is a time and place though. So like Eddie was saying, if the person just is not, they just totally unaware. Like, why you ain't answering? Like, when I do, you don't. So like, sometimes you do have to have those conversations. Also, I've been in a place where sometimes I will step back to protect myself from having those expectations, and then I'll be convicted. And because of who I am, God will be like, at least have the conversation to help them not do that to someone else. So not that they'll do it again to you, but like if we're gonna be set apart, let's be set apart, right?
Right.
So I have to, because of my relationship with God, be like, if he leads, because I'm not Captain Save the World by any means. But if he leads and be like, okay, maybe you should just let them know why you step back. And then that way they'll learn that even if it's not a full reconciliation, they won't do that again and again and again to somebody else. So my natural inclination is to be like, it is what it is, but I have been convicted at times to go back and like, hey, as your sister in Christ, can I tell you why I was kind of distant for a minute? And that don't mean that's us coming together. That's just me being like, I just thought I should bring this to your attention because you're better than that. And I want you to keep doing that.
Respect.
Can I hop on that too? I know you didn't ask me, but can I hop on that?
No, you was next. What's coming that way next?
I just, for me, I personally, I gotta have that conversation only because one of the biggest tactics of the enemy is deception and division. So the enemy can literally, like, a person's mind, like I didn't see so many people come up with these far-fetched, far out stories. And you'd be like, that ain't why I'm not friends with you. What you talking about? Like people, the way deception is set up, they will believe like, oh, it's because I didn't answer their call one time, knowing it was 100 times, So I make sure I have that final conversation just so we're clear. There's no leeway for you to not understand that this is why this friendship is going in this direction. God bless you. We don't have to reconcile, but I just want you to know that this is why this happened, and put that pin in it right there. Because if you don't, people, if the enemy can't get them with deception, he'll try to use division, and it'll set something in their mind to say, see, I knew it. I knew Gwen didn't really like me, or I knew like she was jealous, or whatever the case may be. So I leave no room for the enemy to even get in there. I let you know this is what it is, and this is why it is.
Right. That's good. That's good. And we're gonna move on to the family part for the sake of time and respect of time. But I'll put my
hold up.
I'm gonna put my pin in there. I knew you weren't gonna let me get off the thing.
Because you always trying to interview people, and then you be acting like, okay, we're gonna move on. No, we're not.
My Al Roker on. Al Roker when he still had to wait. Let me get my Al Roker on.
Oh, come on.
A red flag for me for sure is in friendship is definitely people who are driven, empowered by their opinion. Now this is the reason why, and I guess the way that I see the world, when you are heavily opinionated and you're operating from a feeling state, there's certain things that you cut out of that thought process. You cut out the idea of grace. Like, why can't we have grace for that person? Like, just because they did that one time 10 years ago doesn't mean that's who they are. Well, they're a bad person. You've never had an encounter with them. You've literally read things or heard from other people, and you formed an opinion. And the same reason, if we're talking about that core, right? The people who are close to me, the things that I let in my inner circle affects me a lot. And if I'm just always hearing A, your negative opinion about people, B, your feeling state to my current season, your feeling state. Now, one thing, and I'll gloat on Eddie. Eddie is probably one of the closest people that's ever been to me, that ever been a person to me, ever. Right? That was good. We're gonna wrap on. But the reason why we work so well is that we have the same standard. We're both believers in Christ. And then when I have a crisis, he points me to Christ. It's not necessarily full of his opinion. It's not necessarily, well, I feel that you should just never talk to them ever again. Or I feel like it. No, it's like, hey, listen, you remember we talked about this. You remember that we studied this, and this is the way that we wanted to do this. He's not upholding me to any standard that we haven't talked about that we wanted to be held to before. Like, those are the things that come in. That of which is not his opinion. It's literally pointing me towards something that will make me better, being the word of God. And so when you are operating from a feeling state, and we're in 2023, and everybody with a keyboard can voice their opinion about everything with nonstop, like, that to me is like, gosh, this must be miserable for you. This world must be miserable for you. The fact that you have to always be tapped in to other people's business to voice your opinion and give, hey, like, I know that this has had nothing to do with me, but I have a Facebook and I Googled it. So let me put this on my status and let y'all know how I feel. Like, nah, man, understand your platform. Understand the poison that you're putting out here in this world with your feelings. And you gotta have a higher standard than your opinion and your feelings. So that's my red flag. And to answer my questions, I don't know if I've ever had the benefit of seeing somebody walk back from that. That's just me calling it what it is. I would love to see it. Ooh, I would love to see it, y'all. I would love it. But the same people who find themselves doing that are sometimes the same people who are saying, no, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ and he's the standard. But meanwhile, my opinion, you shouldn't do that. Just all of this. And so I haven't had the pleasure of seeing somebody walk back that in their lives. So therefore, like we said, that restoration, reconciliation, I forgive you, but it's the Heisman pose. You got to be at an arm's distance. I'm sorry. You have to. because I can't let that affect what I got going on here.
Hey, this is your girl Dee Dee from Set Apart with Ren and Dee Dee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this latest installment. Don't forget to subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts.